Hello everyone, in this video we're going to go through Zeugladius' abilities. Zeugladius is the Paladin archetype, a support role, and is also a little bit tanky as well. So he does have some support skills and some damage skills as well. Has a couple of healing abilities, some shield abilities that we'll get into. Being a support role, he is subject to changes as this was done during the closed beta test. And the developers are looking closely at support and defense roles to try and bring them to a point where they can get their abilities sooner, or maybe change what some of their abilities do. So do keep that in mind as we go through that. But let's go ahead and jump right into his first ability, which is going to be Divine Shield. So Zucladius harnesses his power to manifest a Divine Shield, enveloping himself in a protective aura, using it to block enemy attacks with a 80% damage reduction. So this is not quite as great as, let's say, Liam's block ability. As Liam's, he does 100% damage reduction, and this one only does 80%. But there are reasons that this may be a little bit better, mainly that you can use some abilities while you have the shield up, and it does last a little bit longer as well than Liam's block. So not quite as much damage reduction, but does have a longer time, and it doesn't stop you from doing other things while you are using it as well. As with most of these, the first orb is going to give it 2 charges, but increase the cooldown. And the second orb is going to give it a small movement speed bonus while the shield is active. And the third orb is going to give him a perfect timing that will also increase the energy gain, so he'll be able to use his ultimate ability more. And then finally, the final orb will do Thorns damage with perfect timing as well. So he will hit enemies in area around him if he does a perfect timed Divine Shield. Then his next ability is his Hammer Smash. This is his basic attack, where he uses his two-handed hammer to smash the target. And as with the other basic attacks, the first orb increases the cast speed by 10%. The second orb increases the cast speed by 25%, allowing you to hit a little bit quicker and not have to wait as long for that animation to go through. Moving on to his next ability, which is Smite, he's going to smash the ground with his hammer, imbue it with Holy Light, and deal damage to each energy struck. This is similar to Liam's ability as well. Kind of deals damage in a small cone in front of him. Enemies to right in front of him and to his left and right are going to be hit by this. The first orb is going to add a charge to it, to where if you charge it, it's going to deal more damage. And then the third orb is going to reduce the amount of time you have to hold in order to get that increased damage from 2 seconds down to 1.2 seconds. His next ability is going to be Flash of Light, where he invokes a radiant burst of holy light, descending upon the designated area, dealing damage to adversaries, and allies also get 100% damage reduction for 1 second. So this is where he starts to kind of shine here. He's going to do a little bit of AoE, but he's also going to give allies damage reduction. So this is really helpful in the case where maybe you're in content where the whole party is going to be taking damage, and you can plan that out. A perfectly timed Flash of Light could kind of negate a large part of that damage. Like in the Dragon Raid that was in the beta here, Caladrax, he did this breath attack where he kind of raise up and then breathe on the ground right beneath him. And this would be a really good time to kind of use this ability to give everyone there that invulnerability for 1 second, so that they could kind of stay in there and keep doing damage, especially those melee classes or maybe healers that need to be close by to heal. So this way they wouldn't have to spread out or move in a direction. You could just completely negate that attack. The first orb of this ability is going to cause him to teleport to where the descent happened, and also push back enemies at the center, and still give that damage reduction to the party as well. You can hold this to aim, so you can kind of jump to where the action is and then push things back. And the last orb on this one is going to make the damage more intense at the center of where you aim this, and then a little bit less intense further out as you get away there. So the tile that he hits is going to hit a lot harder. The tiles next to that are going to get hit a little softer. His next ability is going to be a small cone in front of him. He's going to smash it with Holy Light and deal some damage and reduce the movement speed of those hit by 80 for 4 seconds. The first orb is going to make it to where it's a line AoE instead of a cone, and then allies who enter that light also gain 120 movement speed instead of reducing the enemy's movement speed. And then the third option on this is going to reduce the movement speed of the enemies, change it back to that cone AoE there, but it's also going to stun for 2 seconds as well, so really helpful against things like harpies or mobs that might be shouting or about to slam. You can kind of stun them to stop them from doing that. And then, of course, last but not least, we have his Holy Light ability. This is where he raises his voice to the skies in a fervent plea, summoning a cascade of holy light that envelops the vast area around him and mends wounds of allies caught within its benevolent embrace. So this is his big AoE heal. From what it says on here, I never actually saw this in the test. I never saw anybody use it. But from what it says through the text here, it looks like it's just a one big heal. It's not a heal over time or a rejuvenation kind of effect where you're like healing up. It is one big heal in a vast area, so it's probably a little bit larger, kind of similar to Liam's shout, his big taunt, where it taunts basically the whole screen. So this probably reaches about that same length. I'm not sure how much it actually heals, if it heals a lot, if it heals like a medium amount, since it has such a vast range there. So there are definitely some times where this could be the preferred support because of this. So you don't have to stand in a specific zone. You don't have to be near the healer at all. You can be, half a screen away from them and still get hit by the heal. It probably doesn't heal as much, but it is like one burst heal, so that you don't have to wait to get healed. You're going to get healed right away. And you just have to kind of stand where you are. You don't have to worry about running into the Marley's circle or being near Thomas or being the one picked by Byron. You can just kind of do what you're doing, and this Paladin, Zeugladius, he just kind of does his heal, and mostly everyone's going to get hit by it. So there's definitely a time and place for that, and a niche situation, but overall probably a really good, strong support class for that. And that's going to wrap up this video for Zeugladius here. Overall, my thoughts on him is that he is a popular choice because a lot of people do have that Paladin fantasy in there, and he does have a lot of the support to kind of back that up there. He can get right in there and do the melee as well. So sometimes if you want like a small cluster where maybe you have your defensive guy, like Liam for example, maybe you have another melee class there like the rogue or the feral druid that we might be getting later on, or that we will get but wasn't in the test. Get those melee classes in there, and then have him in there as well, so that everyone's kind of clumped up. You can do like a lot of AoE damage that way and do like a AoE steamroll through some of these adventures. And then he does have some utility as well, where he gives that AoE, or gives all allies that invulnerability for the 1 second as well. And that's on a relatively short cooldown as well. I think the cooldown on that was about 10 seconds, and that's probably going to be reduced each point you put into the skill. So he's got a lot of utility there. That burst heal as well, where you don't have to be next to him to get it. It's a vast area, it says, and the other abilities that do say vast area, it really is a vast area. Basically, if you can see him on the screen, you're probably getting that heal. So there's a lot of reasons to choose Zeugladius as a support in any kind of content. There's probably some reasons not to as well, because like I was saying, the opposite of wanting that cluster in the melee is that in order to do his attacks and gain his energy to do his ultimate, he does have to be in melee hitting those guys. So there is a downside to that, of course, as well. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. And I'd be interested if anybody has played him in the closed beta and maybe got to some of these higher content levels, like maybe rank 4 or rank 5, where you were able to actually use that ultimate ability. Let me know how it was like. Did it feel good? Did it feel rewarding? Was it able to keep up the party, all that. So let me know in the comments below, and that's going to wrap this one up, and we'll see you guys in the next one. All right.